But he didn't do Law and Dutch of Basics.
No, he did not.
Damn.
I don't think his insane editing would make its way into Diane Thomas.
He couldn't handle a project like this. First of all, this is only for
It's only for true cinephiles.
It's only for true cinephiles, and there's not many directors that could handle a project like this. I mean, Martin Scorsese couldn't.
I was gonna say Scorsese.
Scorsese, no way.
Oh God, no.
Ridley Scott. I don't even think there's a living director today that could handle a project like this with Diane Thomas.
No, I don't think so.
To really showcase the craftsmanship and the cooking ability.
What was that?
Bomb. The cooking ability of Diane Thomas. No living director could.
No,
right now,
not.
currently.
But yeah.
Anyway, this was my ads, and this was my transition to a very weird transition to say that yes, this is the Sauna Sunday episode of the week.
Oh yeah,
we have some stuff to talk about that I've written down, and then from there we can do whatever we want. It is our podcast. We can talk about why this is the greatest movie of all time, Lodge, Dutch Oven Cooking. We can talk about...
We need to give it a watching. We haven't done in a while.
And I'm tempted, for if this podcast somehow, some way ends up getting big, we just seriously do a movie episode, movie episode on it. For the meme.
26 minutes of greatness.
Exactly.
Look at Diane. Vibing.
Honestly, Jon Favreau's chef can just get out of the way, because that is obviously the premier cooking whatever.
Yeah.
Honestly.
What is everything else related to cooking?
Literally, is God tier. Food Network, anything that the Food Network makes is not comparable to this.
Not even Hell's Kitchen?
No.
Oh God.
Gordon Ramsay cannot compare to Diane Thomas in this thing.
I love this.
But anyway.
Yeah.
TJ, I would like... Well, first of all, what are our beverages today?
I have a body armor.
You got a body armor? I did have a body armor.
I'm every time I get this flavor, I realize like halfway through, I'm like, this isn't my favorite flavor. I kind of regret it.
Yeah. That one's... what is your favorite flavor? Is it the blue one?
The ones you guys have, the blue one.
The blue one, yeah. We have the blue one, which I don't know what that one is.
It's like blueberry pomegranate.
Yeah.
It's delicious.
And then the orange one's mango, I think?
It's like a peach mango.
Peach mango, and then there's that one, which is strawberry lemonade. Yeah, that one I would also agree is my least favorite.
Yeah.
Out of all of them.
There's one that's like black, I want to say, that I got from the store once. It's like blackberries and stuff. It's delicious.
Interesting. Anyway, I have good old water because I forgot to bring a special beverage because I am an idiot. Oh, also, forgot that. But yeah, so we got our beverages, and
we're vibing.
The other question I'd like to ask before we get into the Star Wars news, because for those that don't know, there was Star Wars Celebration in Anaheim, California, where they talked about a lot of Star Wars stuff. I think, this isn't 2 Sauna Sundays in a row with Star Wars information, but we did one. We had a big Star Wars segment on our second Sauna Sunday, I believe.
I think so.
Because they had released a lot of information then. But we're going to talk about that. But before we do that, TJ, it's been a couple days after our podcast on Top Gun.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always nice having a couple days to reflect on the film. Yeah. So maybe just give me what are you thinking now with Top Gun after having some days to reflect upon it? Has any opinions changed, or what are you vibing? How are you feeling right now with that film?
Honestly, I think it's pretty much the same for me. I think I still really enjoyed it. I honestly haven't really sat down and thought about it. But for the most part, I haven't come upon anything that I truly disliked or anything about it. So
agreed. It's, I guess, my final conclusion to it all, which is slightly an obvious one, is that it truly is a remarkable piece of work.
Oh, it's
considering
awesome. Yeah.
all of the camera angles and work they did with the F-18s.
Yeah.
And watching the behind the scenes of how they rigged everything is insanity. Incredibly entertaining.
Ooh, I'll have to look this.
Also, do you know about the training that the actors went through?
I saw part of it.
Dude, it was gnarly. So
insanity.
Tom Cruise basically put them through naval, basically training for that pilot, like legit pilots would go through.
Yeah.
And Cruise had all the actors do it. And I mean, Miles Teller had a great quote where he basically said it was like hell for us, but it was just another day for Tom Cruise.
Yeah, I saw that one.
Yeah, which makes sense.
Yeah.
But it is a nice addition. In fact, it's a stellar addition to film.
Yeah.
In general, because of the accomplishments they made.
Yeah, with shooting it and all that.
With shooting it.
Yeah,
exactly.
I definitely agree. I think, yeah, I still love the movie as a whole, and I think the way it's put together is absolutely astounding. Like great story and all that aside, I think the technical aspect of it is truly astounding.
It's going to win a lot of awards in that category.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, it will. It definitely will. Honestly, they should honestly just give it sound design right now. Just hand it over. The sound and all that, just hand it over.
I'm telling you, they need to make like a stuntman Oscar. Like
yeah. There was a big push for that a couple years ago, I believe.
Yeah, I think it kind of comes up every year. But it honestly should, because I feel like that's the one aspect, like one big aspect that like they don't talk about. I think it's very interesting to like it'd be nice to actually recognize those people, because they're not like doing crazy. They're doing all like they're making the magic that's on screen, and I think like having those people that like truly do all the crazy shit, they should get recognized a little more.
I agree, to honor people such as Jackie Chan.
Yeah.
Which he did get an honorary Oscar, for those that are wondering, but he never was. Which it is. I totally agree, because you are again missing out on people like Jackie.
Well, it's just like all the stunt coordinators and directors
exactly.
and all that. Like, everyone who plans like the action scenes and like all the crazy car stunts and airplane stunts and all that, they're the one category that like just goes under the radar. And I feel like they're one of the most hard-working groups of the movie, especially for like action movies and stuff. And then like when award season comes around, it's just like, oh, have you seen costumes? Just like, look at this plane that like did like 10 barrel rolls. Look at this, it's awesome.
It is. I totally concur, and you are reminding me of all the great stunt performances that have happened in recent years with the advancement in sort of technology and things they can do. It reminds me of, Ana de Armas in No Time to Die, or
Keanu Reeves and John Wick, and like all the crazy, like
when you see all the behind the scenes of things,
like the people who like put together all the action scenes and like No Way Home and stuff like that. Like watching Tom Holland and all that, like do all like the stunts that they like planned out, it's awesome. Like there's that one video of him like flipping over all the cars and stuff. Mm-hmm. That's so cool.
It is. It is. I mentioned this, and I mentioned this with the Top Gun Maverick, but there are several action movies where it's worth it to get the digital copy or the physical copy just so you can watch the behind the scenes of it all. Stuff that they don't show you on YouTube that are stuffed in those discs. It's well worth it for films.
Oh yeah,
like that.
Yeah, I mean, I have yet to kind of dig deep in some of those behind the scenes stuff, but when I do, I will definitely be happy.
Yeah,
I do
for sure. All right, without further ado, let's get into some Star Wars news. My first question is, does Star Wars secretly run the world at this point?
At this point, no, that's Marvel.
Oh, that's true. That is Marvel.
Star Wars was the one that ran the world.
Disney
then
runs
Marvel
the world.
Existed.
Disney runs the world. Because and the reason this question comes up is because social media, at least there was a solid chunk of social media that was just bursting with Star Wars news.
It's insanity.
It was absolutely bonkers. I was salmon fishing on the Salmon River this weekend, and I was popping in and out of service.
Oh, yeah.
And whenever I would pop into service, it would just be
new.
Star Wars, Star Wars, Star Wars, Star Wars, Star Wars.
Yeah, it was... I saw it kind of in real time kind of pop up every now and then. It was just like every time I went onto Instagram, it was some new project or some new something, and I was just like, oh my God, yes.
There is a lot, and for that reason, we're not going to talk about everything.
Not everything?
Not everything, what? No. But we will definitely highlight the major stuff.
Yeah.
And I want to open with the Andor series.
Yeah.
Because TJ started the hype for this, and then I carried it all the way to where I am now, which is essentially becoming a living and breathing ad for the project.
Yeah. Slowly but surely.
Slowly but surely.
Yeah.
They've announced it's a 2-season event, so it's not going to be 1 season. It's going to be 2 seasons. I assume it's going to be like there'll probably be a cliffhanger or something at the end of the first one. The first 2 episodes will debut on August 31st. And did you see the trailer, TJ?
I did.
Okay, you did. What are your thoughts on it?
I like it. There was something about it that definitely looks different. Like I don't know if it's the like way they shot it or like where they shot it or something, but it definitely has like a different look and a different vibe. And I'm interested because, I mean, it has a great cast. I mean, it has the Skarsgård guy. And it has Diego Luna, who is fantastic in Rogue One. No, he always gives a good performance.
Yeah, he does. I heard he got a huge ovation at Star Wars Celebration.
Ooh.
And rightfully so.
Yeah, what a king.
What a king.
But yeah, I liked. Immediately, I was just kind of like, as soon as I saw it came out, I was like, yes, watch. And I was I was pleased. I'm definitely interested to see more when it comes out, like when the next trailer comes out and the show itself. And I like that it's a longer series. I think it's like, is it 9 episodes or is it 12 episodes?
I can't remember.
It's a bit longer. It's a bit longer than like Obi-Wan, which just started, which is only 6.
And it's already halfway, which is crazy.
Yeah, as of today, we are officially halfway through that somehow. I don't know how.
Wild. We'll get to that at the end.
But yeah, I like kind of the spy feel, and I think it can go far with that kind of vibe.
It's fascinating to me because I like the idea of a grounded Star Wars project, which is weird to say because it's Star Wars and it's lightsabers and it's lasers shooting out of guns and it's big death balls and things of that nature, but I think it's the idea of combining that with, again, groundedness and being like a spy thriller.
Yeah.
And if they're able to intermingle those two well, I again, and this is my hot take, I think it'll be the best Star Wars show that has come out since The Mandalorian.
Yeah. So, yeah. I'm definitely, I think if it kind of takes a new tone, kind of like what Mando did, where Mando was more of it had that Western vibe, and it went very strong with that. I think if this goes with like the spy feel that it's kind of advertising, we could have a new crazy big show on our hands. And I'm definitely interested because it looks good.
It does. Another thing that intrigues me is the idea that with it being grounded, they'll have more time to work on maybe the smaller and finer details compared to...
Oh my gosh, this chair's so squeaky.
Oh, is it really squeaky?
Yeah, every time I shift a little.
Damn you, chair.
Yeah.
But the idea that if it is more grounded and they're working with less events, the events there's not quite as many of them in the series. They can spend more time doing other things. And one thing that, fortunately, that they haven't screwed up on like they have with the Marvel stuff is so far I haven't really noticed a drop in quality as far as production is concerned.
Yeah, I think Star Wars has been pretty consistently good. I think very rarely do I watch an episode and I'm like, this looks okay. You can tell that instead of making it in a studio, they went into the backwoods of LA and just were like, do this. Like I've only had that with like 2 episodes so far. One with Obi-Wan and one with Mando.
And I'm strictly talking about, and I know you get it, TJ, but just in case anyone's forgetting, I'm strictly talking about the production value of things. So how they make it, using the volume, by the way, the volume is, so for those who don't know, it's basically a cylindrical, it's a 360 sort of hollow wallpaper thing where they can just they can digitally put on whatever background scenery they want. That is an incredible piece of technology. But whether it's using the volume or, like you said, TJ, going to some location, the fact that they keep doing that and doing it at a high level is really important, because Marvel is struggling with that right now. We've said that many times on the podcast.
Yeah, Marvel, although they make some interesting set pieces and have some interesting stories, sometimes their production is mediocre at best. So, who knows? Yeah, let's hope they keep it with this show. Moving on, we have some smaller news about Ahsoka. Well, I guess it's kind of big news, but the main point coming out of the celebration was that Ezra, Harrison Dula, Sabine Wren, and Chopper are all set to appear in the series. From Rebels. Yeah. Which I'm really interested in Ezra, especially. For those who don't know, that's like half of the main group from Rebels, which is a Star Wars show from a few years ago? Yeah. I think it ended in like 2017. Yeah. But yeah, that lots of returning characters from that. Yeah, I think out of the group that's coming back, I'm interested in Sabine and like you said, Ezra. Because I always thought they were kind of the more interesting of that kind of group that could return. No shade on Hera, because I think she's really cool. I don't really care about Chopper because I didn't love, contrary to popular belief, I don't like Chopper that much. Everyone loves Chopper to bits. I think in the early parts of the series, he's the most annoying thing ever. Because he just gets in the way, and he's just like, and then he's like really sassy about like doing the thing they need to do, and I'm just like, do it. Well, stop being a little idiot. I sort of agree. He does get in the way at points, but I like the goofball that they kind of make him out to be. I do. His vibe is cool, and I like that. But like, I feel like a lot of the problems they have could have been wrangled if they didn't let Chopper out. Right. And I was just like, some of those episodes, I kind of just stared at the screen with disbelief of like, you can't be serious right now. Yeah. And if Chopper's a little moron again, I'm going to go down to Lucasfilms and I'm going to beat someone up. I can't take it anymore. George, get over here. Yeah, I know you don't own the series anymore, but... Right. Or whoever, I don't know. Someone. Kathleen Kennedy, get over here. He'll come up to me and he's like, I'm sorry. I didn't do it. I'll release the old cuts of Star Wars. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's what you need to have. You need to find him, TJ, so you can ask him about that. Yeah, I can get him to do that. Oh God, that is one thing that you genuinely are ticked off about, huh? Yes, that is legitimately one thing, movie related, that I cannot believe is real. Is that George Lucas gatekeeps the OG cut of Star Wars and only releases shitty re-releases of it that are caked in CGI because I'm going to say he's quote unquote embarrassed that like it has 70s CGI. Yeah. I don't care. I want to see what it looks like in the 70s. I want to be 70s mind blown. I don't want to be shitty 2002 CGI mind blown. Right. I agree. And stuff is stupid. I'm not as pissed off as you are, but I definitely agree because it's just like this. I can see like little CGI touches and all that, whatever. But like when you add a whole scene of an alien singing. Oh, was that added? Yeah, if you watch Return of the Jedi, it's like one of the only things.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Empire and Return of the Jedi are the two that like aren't touched as much. Like they have stuff added, but it's not as caked on as A New Hope. But one of the worst things comes in Return of the Jedi, where he added like a 2-minute scene of an alien singing in Jabba's palace. Nobody wants it. Everyone skips over it because it's awful.
Interesting.
It looks disgusting and it's annoying. And it's just like, why would you add this, George? This isn't cool.
Yeah, I'm on that train because it would be cool to see what people like my dad saw and people that were in the theater saw. I agree.
Nice.
With that clacking of cans, we are back.
Yeah.
And I will pick up where I left off, which is that he shouldn't be embarrassed about releasing the original, as you were kind of alluding to. And the reason that I want to see it is because I can compare it to the effects of that time, of the 70s.
Yeah.
And it can really show me, oh, wow, it was really revolutionary. Yeah. Because it is a very revolutionary movie in effects, even with those OG effects, obviously. That was the thing about it.
It's one of the most revolutionary looking movies of all time. And as much as 70s as it looks, it doesn't matter. It's not like you see Ridley going back to Alien and being like, I don't like how this looks. I'm going to CGI over everything. No, he's accepted that it looks the way it looks and that it's a masterpiece because it looks the way it looks. Don't have Star Wars fans clinging to VHS that are 40 years old to watch the original thing that blew the world away. You should have you should give it to a new generation to see, hey, this is what gave you what you watch now. As goofy as some of these effects could look, because it was made in the 70s. Boo hoo. I think, like you said, it sucks that you have to go digging in your attic to find the VHS copy that your dad has held on to for 40 years to watch the actual cut of Star Wars. Which sucks because I had that.
Did you really?
I had the original trilogy on VHS. Then we sold it. I'm still kind of mad about that. I think Emerson has them. And if he has a VHS player, I will pay a pretty penny for those. But it's one of those things that I don't get. It's just like, why would you gatekeep something so important? Not just to cinema, but to the world. Because Star Wars isn't just a revolutionary movie thing. It's a series that changed not just how movie people think about movies, how everyone thinks about movies. It's legitimately one of the most revolutionary movies of all time. So stop gatekeeping what made a masterpiece and hiding behind shitty CGI that was done in 2002. We don't want more McClunky. Stop CGIing like Han Solo's head. It's disgusting. Mm-hmm. You've seen that, right?
No, I don't think so.
I think it was early Disney Plus.
Okay.
Something like that. They uploaded a copy of Star Wars, the first one, the original one. Where in the scene where Greedo is talking to Han, right before Han shoots him, Greedo out of nowhere just says McClunky, and then to show that Greedo shoots first, they CGI Han's head to the side for a second. It looks awful.
They took it off, yeah.
Yeah, I think they uploaded a different cut. You could probably find it on YouTube though, because it was heavily shared on Twitter and stuff, and everyone was like, "What the hell is this?"
Oh boy,
George, what are you doing? This is unironically abysmal. I think it might have happened in 2019 was Disney Plus days. The first days of Disney Plus. So that would make sense. Because I feel like November was when Mando started.
Yeah, it was. I remember you and I, before cross-country practice, because we were seniors, so we got off early.
We watched Mando.
Dude. Man, that was...
Yeah, it was like the first day. Was it the first day that Disney Plus was up, Mando released?
I know we obviously watched it the first day that the episode came out. I don't know.
But I can't remember if it was the first day the platform was up that it came out.
I think it might have been within the week.
I think so too.
Because we are at my house already had the accounts ready and set up, so I think it was within the week.
That's what I thought too, but I couldn't remember exactly.
Yeah, it was. Man, I remember that. It felt like it did really feel like a momentous event, and it kind of was, honestly.
Yeah,
it was because it was.
It was the beginning of just a very popular one of the most popular shows, of our time, or of at least this time. Well, and then it's the show that set the standard for not just Disney Plus, but I think Disney Plus shows. But I feel like a lot of other shows too. Stranger Things too.
Definitely, and when people think of Disney's ownership of Star Wars, as far as the pinnacle of their work thus far, it is The Mandalorian, Rogue One.
Yeah, Mandalorian, Rogue One, stuff like that. I'm interested to see how some of these future shows help lead into that.
For sure. The Mandalorian blew all of us away for many reasons, but...
Oh, dude, I remember the end of the first episode.
Yeah.
We both looked at each other like, oh my god, this is awesome.
I remember we looked at each other when that one guy was trying to escape the bar, and Mando used his thing and brought him in and hit shot the button that closed the door and just cut the dude in half. We both looked at each other. We were just blown away.
Oh, dude. Yeah, I feel like that happened a few times. That in those first few episodes, we were like, "Oh my god, this is why we love Star Wars."
Yeah,
it had a new breath of fresh air, and it was just oh my god.
And it was finally nice that they were fully paying homage to Westerns, considering the OG one definitely took influence from Westerns.
Yeah, it felt nice to have something that felt very different, and it was interesting to have that kind of Western influence kind of come in, and it definitely worked.
Oh, definitely. I love seeing. Yeah, it definitely worked. And Mando kind of being the man with no name vibe, and the very silent and very broad-shouldered, not super agile, sort of, you know what I'm saying, sort of stiff, but agile. But kind of had that Batman sort of vibe.
He has a very Batman-y vibe.
Yeah, really cool. Well, that was a tangent for the ages.
Yeah, I that's my message to George. Release the original cut.
That's TJ's PSA.
Yeah, I know you got made $50 bajillion off to buy or Disney buying Star Wars, but stop gatekeeping the original. I don't get it. I still don't. I never will.
Mm-hmm. Well, moving from that, we have some other little quick things that I'll just run through. So, Tales of the Jedi was announced.
Oh yeah.
Which is another intriguing show because it's going to showcase young Dooku and Qui-Gon, which is a relationship that I was aware of, and I'm aware of some of the moments in those the relationship of those two, but to see it fully fleshed out in animation will be
pretty cool.
Will be pretty cool, and there are some interesting things that they could do with that. Qui-Gon is my favorite Jedi, so I am especially excited for that. And I've always been curious about, young Dooku being a Jedi, and I would be really stoked if they actually showed his transition.
Yeah,
but I don't know if they'll go that far.
I don't know how many episodes they're dedicating to that part of the show.
I didn't look, or I don't know if they announced it or not.
I don't know how many, but like nonetheless, I think it'll be very interesting. Because I mean, it's one of those like things that you've always kind of heard about, but them finally adapting it is going to be very interesting.
And I think a lot of people besides me have been yearning for more Qui-Gon.
Yeah, Qui-Gon and Dooku, both, because they're both such cool characters.
I can't remember who Dooku was Yoda's apprentice, wasn't he?
I think so. It was him or Mace Windu. I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember either. But anyway, it'll be an exciting series when it comes out.
Yeah.
And then and moving on with some more animation, we have The Bad Batch Season 2 coming out, which Gunji lives. Let's go.
Oh my God.
Gunji, for those that don't know, he is shown in the Clone Wars animated show. He is a youngling in it. And he's in the arc where they build their lightsabers, get their kyber crystals, that sort of thing. But I remember I was talking to TJ and Emerson immediately when I saw the episode. He has debatably my favorite Star Wars hilt.
It's so cool.
With the wood. It's so unique and so cool. And he was shown in the trailer.
Yeah.
For Bad Batch Season 2, which is on YouTube. You can find it. And I'm so excited for that.
Yeah.
Apparently Cody is coming back as well. Commander Cody.
Yeah.
And yeah, what'd you think of all that, TJ?
Yeah, I think I'm definitely interested because season 1 was very interesting in that
definitely had highs and lows.
Yeah, I was gonna say when it was good, it was pretty good, and then when it was really dumb and repetitive, it was very dumb and repetitive, and there was very much like those were like the polar extremes, and there wasn't much in the middle. You were either very very new and like interesting, or you were really like repetitive. Like I said, I think they kind of learned their lesson now, because I think that was one of the main gripes of the show, was that like once we got halfway through, everyone was like, "Are they gonna keep doing this for another 8 episodes?" And they did, until like the worst episode with like the bugs. That episode was stupid.
It was, but and I think you're leading to this. The overarching main plot,
yes,
was definitely intriguing.
Yes, the idea of the story and the main plot stuff. It was really. I thought I had some great potential, and I think a lot of it was very well done. And I'm definitely interested to see where it goes in the next season, because like I said, it's a very well done show when it wants to be well done, but when you have 16 episodes to fill, there's some filler that isn't great. So
yeah, for sure, and also their suits are a little changed too. Did you notice that?
Yeah. I like it. I think the aesthetic's pretty cool.
I do agree. I think it shows change with them as a group and them moving on from things.
Yeah.
It gives a very visual representation of their change as a group, as opposed to just showing it emotionally and within themselves.
Yeah, through like words. It gives something to show for.
And speaking of Mando, as we were talking about earlier, we got an official release date for Mando Season 3, which is February 2023. And there was no trailer, but apparently people were saying at the celebration they showed sort of a trailer that included Bo-Katan sitting on a throne and shots of that one city in Mandalore that I'm forgetting the name of.
I can't remember.
But anyway, that is apparently what they showed. Maybe some other things as well. But I am a huge fan of, now after watching Longmire, I'm a huge fan of that actor who plays Bo-Katan. Katie Sackhoff, I believe her name is.
Yeah, I think that's something close.
She was good in Longmire, and so I've become a fan now.
Yeah.
And obviously she was in Season 2 of Mando, but I hadn't watched Longmire at that point. So to see her coming back is cool. She did a good job, I thought. And isn't she the voice of her anyway in the show?
She's one of the actresses, like the voice actresses that like went and actually did their live action character. 'Cause I think there was one other one who did that too.
It's kind of funny when that happens because when it does, they oddly enough do pull off the look.
Yeah.
They actually, it's kind of weird. I don't know if it's just coincidence or what, but they oftentimes when they reprise their roles in a live action version, it works out well because they look quite similar to their character.
Who was it from Rebels that everyone was like, oh, he's Thrawn. He's voiced by Mads Mikkelsen's brother named Lars. And he has the look for like being a Thrawn guy. And everyone was like, Disney, cast this man. Do it.
Yeah.
But they haven't officially said anything about casting a Thrawn, so
I cannot wait for live action Thrawn.
Oh, dude,
he
I'm so
is
excited.
by far one of the best parts in Rebels. By far.
I think I remember who the other voice. I think the original voice actor for Cad Bane was also Cad Bane in Boba Fett.
Oh,
I think so. I think it was him.
Interesting. That one's a little bit harder because he's caked in makeup, but
yeah, he was a bit caked.
Mm-hmm. He was a bit caked. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, that is true.
Just a little.
Just a little. Lastly, to wrap up our Star Wars segment here, we're going to talk about the Obi-Wan Kenobi show.
Yeah.
Because it has reached its halfway mark. But before we do that, I want... TJ has no idea this is coming.
No.
I have added a new button to the soundboard.
Oh, no.
And it is a soundbite from you, TJ.
Oh, real quick. I want to shout out Skeleton Crew because I think that's just cool.
I forgot. Sorry. Jude Law, I'm saying that right?
Yeah, Jude Law.
I don't know why I forgot your name or forgot how to pronounce your name. Anyway, I am sorry.
Your show looks cool.
Your show looks cool.
It has good potential.
You're definitely listening or watching right now, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm sorry. So, TJ, floor is yours.
I'm definitely interested because, I mean, it's Jude Law. He's been around for a while. And it's another Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, and John Watts is attached to it.
I saw that.
So I'm interested to see how that all goes. I just wanted to shout it out because it looked cool.
It does. John. I was about to say John Filoni.
John Filoni. At this point, it is just John Filoni.
It is because those two, if we didn't have them in the Star Wars universe, we would be screwed probably.
Honestly.
They have brought together the fan base in a way that I would have never thought imaginable after all the hate for the sequel stuff.
Oh, after the discourse that the sequels bring, it was going to be hard to truly unite all of Star Wars fans again. And I think they pulled it off really well with The Mandalorian and even Dave Filoni earlier with stuff like Rebels and Clone Wars and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, he's been doing it for a long time. Everyone loves the Cowboy Hat Man.
Everyone loves Cowboy Hat Man. That is true.
Yeah.
All right, without further ado, this is the sound. Are you ready?
Oh, yeah, go for it.
This is TJ's live reaction, too, so if you're watching on the YouTube, you'll get it.
Do it, Anakin. Fly inverted. Do it.
I don't know where I'm going to use that. But I was editing the Top Gun podcast this morning, and I don't know if we were filming or not, or we were actually having the conversation yet for it, but I heard that, and I knew immediately it was going to be a soundbite because I was either going to throw it in randomly, or because it is a very specific application for a moment that I don't know what exactly what it is yet. But it's here.
Do it. Fly. Do it, Anakin. Fly inverted. Kill him.
So, TJ, you can feel good about having the being the source for the first
soundbite,
added sound button of our own.
I like this.
I
feel powerful. I feel power. So much power.
Do you feel power like Darth Vader does in
Unlimited power.
I can't tell, but I feel like you're slightly auditioning right now for more sound bites. Yes.
Yes. You know it's Anakin.
Oh man. Okay. Well. Anyway, TJ.
No.
You ruined my transition, bro. That's not cool.
I'm sorry, Anakin. How could I do this? What was the transition?
The transition was... Now I can't even remember. You're just making me laugh.
Fool. Remember. Dig into your feelings.
Okay, TJ. I'm just going to need you to take a breather for a second.
Can't do it.
No, you can't do it. You can't do it. Don't make me mute your mic, TJ. Don't make me go on a solo run here.
I'm sorry.
Oh, my gosh. Wow. I literally have no idea what I was about to say.
Something about Obi-Wan, probably.
That's right. TJ, do you... Well, okay, fine. I'm about to force you to go back into your alter ego, whatever that was.
Do it.
Your Star Wars
Make me
Palpatine alter ego.
I am Palpatine.
Do you feel like you have the ultimate power like Darth Vader has the ultimate power in the latest episode of the Kenobi show?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
I'll put this up before, or I might just bleep out. You know what? I'm just going to bleep out what I just said because
do that.
We're doing spoiler-free stuff here. This is the second episode in a row I forgot. Wow. I have problems. Anyway, yes. Continuing with, this is gonna be a spoiler-free conversation here on Obi-Wan Kenobi after some great voice acting by TJ.
Yeah, I think I have a nice shot for being Palpatine in every other show.
Contact John Filoni. You'll be good.
John Filoni.
Yes.
Yeah. Cake me an Ian McDermott makeup. I will become Palpatine. Do it.
Is that gonna be a new character on the podcast? Just John Filoni.
John Filoni. I would like to speak to you.
What would John Filoni? John Filoni could be the character that Jon Favreau voices in Solo with the cowboy hat.
I like this. Yes, I like this. Is genius.
Oh, please let this happen.
Oh my god.
TJ, we are, again, as we mentioned multiple times, we are halfway through on the Kenobi show, which makes absolutely no sense because it came out less than a week ago.
It came out Friday and it's Wednesday.
And we're 3 episodes in. There's 6 episodes total.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that, first of all? As
Being
far as where
through?
the plot is, from a plot standpoint, and the fact that we're already halfway, what are your thoughts on that?
I'm definitely interested. I think, I think it's been a lot slower than a lot of people were expecting. And I feel like it has room to like kind of do some stuff, but at the same time, some parts of it feel like it is almost reaching a finale in some weird ways. Because especially when the last episode, especially towards the end, it felt like a moment like 2/3 of the way through a movie where like the plot, like it's going to shift into that finale tone. But to think that we still have 3 hours left of this, I don't know. I'm definitely interested.
I am too. Honestly, Oh, and I should also mention too, before in case I forget, I so loved the fact that they started out slowly with it. They took their time.
Yes, I think the slower pace was definitely something I liked. But I think it was definitely not what I think a lot of people were expecting.
No. And I was honestly, I'll be honest, I was kind of low-key surprised they went with that route too, because they usually, at least recently, with several Disney projects, they kind of, and this happens with Marvel and some with Star Wars, they kind of apply to the masses, which usually means starting things off quicker.
Yeah.
But
I think very few, I think the only one I can think of really that was like Moon Knight. Moon Knight is kind of like truly has a slower start. Like it has action, but like where it truly starts like unraveling a story, it's very slow paced, and it takes its time. And I think this is kind of the same way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd agree. It was definitely nice. It gave us a breather as an audience to kind of catch up to where Obi-Wan is right now in his life.
Yeah, and
all that sort of things. Moving on, I want to talk about the Inquisitors, because obviously they're a big part in the miniseries.
Yeah.
After the third episode, I still have mixed emotions about them. I will say, and this is all spoiler-free, their dialogue in the first 2 episodes was stiff and very cliche. There were some phrases that some of these characters said that came out of, I felt like, a kid show, because it was very much like...
they were very basic.
They were very basic.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I think, for the most part, as performances, they were probably some of my least favorite. That being said, I do think one of my favorite scenes, probably maybe of the show so far, was the opener with the Inquisitors. I think that scene, I think that's their best scene, I think, as a whole. Even though it's mostly just one talking, but it kind of like it lays the groundwork for what they're trying to do. It introduces, I think, them decently well for the people who don't know who they are. And it kind of establishes like how people feel about them. And I think I'm just gonna say Rupert Fiend, I think, does a great performance in that scene. Past that, though, they are either stiff as a board or they have really annoying lines.
Yeah, ditto. And with that one, other thing I'll highlight with that one scene is, yes, the dichotomy they were able to create, and the relationship they were able to show between the Inquisitors and the wrath and the horror they bring on these villagers.
Yeah,
is top notch.
It sets the stage for who they're the role they're supposed to play.
Mm-hmm. And I won't say what happens in the third episode, but they continue with that trend with more characters.
God damn.
That is the reaction that both of us had when when
shit hit the fan. Yeah, we both turned to each other at least maybe 2 or 3 times, and we're like, "Oh my god!"
If you watch the first 2 episodes and you're hesitant about the third one, don't be.
Yeah, give it a chance,
because there are parts that are it's kind of weird. There are many parts of the third episode that exceed what the previous 2 had, and then there are some other moments where it kind of is actually lower and not quite as good as the past 2 episodes.
Yeah, the first 2 have their moments, and I think overall, as an experience, I liked watching them, because it was kind of like the excitement of finally watching this show, and kind of like the nostalgia blast of like growing up with Ewan McGregor as like Obi-Wan, like finally seeing him back in that role. It was just a very exciting like viewing experience. Do the episodes have problems? Yeah, their writing isn't great.
It's no Mandalorian.
No, I think everyone expected it to be a Mandalorian. And I mean, although they got like one of the best directors from Mando season 1, it definitely has its problems writing wise. It's a little clunky. Some of the effects are just okay. It's just like sometimes it just wasn't. It's no Mandalorian. It doesn't feel as like sharp and like well rounded as that one. Not to say I don't like it though. I think as a whole, I still have a positive image of it, and I'm still very excited to see where it goes. It's just, I don't think it's not going to be my favorite in the end.
No, not at all. I think I agree with. I liked their choice. Deborah Chow is her name, or what's her name? Deborah Chow. I like her direction. Whoops. Whoa. In the Mando stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm glad they brought her on for this, because I think she is a good choice. At the same time, and I don't know if this is the script or her or both, but there are moments, again, I keep bringing up the Inquisitors. I don't mean to hate on them, but they kind of do stick out like a sore thumb.
Yeah.
In certain areas. But some of the direction these characters have, especially I'm looking at Sung Kang's character. I don't really get him, and I don't really see a clear direction with him as a character.
Yeah, Well, I mean, I think him and the one, the lizardy one, like sister, they're both in Rebels, and so I don't know how big a role they'll actually play, because if you've seen Rebels, you kind of know they make it out. So I'm interested to see where they go, because I don't see them playing the biggest role, but at the same time, you got a pretty big actor to play a guy who's just gonna sit in the background.
We will be right back.
Yeah, I think it feels weird to bring in such a big actor for in Soon Kang, because I mean he's a big like Fast and Furious headliner.
One of my guys.
Yeah.
One of my, as TJ's aware and those who listen to the podcast, I have a few guys that are my homies.
Yeah, in Fast and Furious.
In Fast and Furious, and, well, I mean, in general, and just Soon Kang and Kumal, which I'm going to talk about in a second here.
Oh, yeah.
Those are my homies.
Yeah.
And you're right. They haven't really been showing him as much as you'd think they would, considering he is a top, not a top build, but he's definitely a high-profile actor.
Yeah, Soon Kang, like they build him up as like one of the big villains of the show. Like he's shown in the trailers and like a few times, and like I mean he's part of like the big group of bad guys, but all he's kind of done is just kind of been like he's kind of just argued and that's it.
I know, I'm disappointed. I want to see. I'm scratching, just wanting to see him. I'm so itchy. I just want to see him
do more.
Some action, something.
Yeah, I want to see some of these characters do a little more. But then again, we are halfway through, so we still have lots of room to see characters do stuff.
Disney, all I'm asking is one big fight scene with him, please.
Yeah,
that's all I'm asking.
I think
something.
I think a lot of the action will pick up in these next few episodes.
I hope so.
I think. Well, I mean, I already know. I remember hearing that they planned a big fight at the end.
Dude,
that's supposed to be like some Duel Fates level stuff, and I'm like,
yeah,
that's gonna be absolutely insanity.
I am one of the few that actually. I mean, I guess it's the love for that film, for Revenge of the Sith, I think has grown. But originally, as in 6-7 years ago, I was one of those people that was. And I don't know what. Well, TJ, you might be able to tell me what is kind of the vibe with Revenge of the Sith for Star Wars fans.
Revenge of the Sith?
I can't tell because
like originally or like now.
Originally and now, because I feel like now it's a lot higher than it was. Right?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
That's all the prequels. Yeah. Originally, yeah. The thing with the prequels in general is when they came out, everyone hated those movies.
Yeah,
they were universally panned. And they were like, "This is not how could George Lucas screw up this bad?" Especially with the first two. The third one was kind of like the Golden Child, and everyone was like, "This one's actually kind of cool." It has some interesting moments. I mean, the first two had some interesting, cool moments that people liked, but not as much as Revenge of the Sith. Revenge of the Sith was always kind of like I said, the Golden Child of the trio. But within like the last 10 years, everyone's kind of like, I don't know if like it's because the vibe for like the sequels has kind of like made people like those movies more, but it's like Phantom Menace and all of them have become a lot more well liked just in general. Like yeah, people are like, yes, they're not perfect, but they're enjoyable, and I'm like, that is the exact opposite opinion you had 10 years ago.
You know, it's kind of funny you say that, because I think we literally had this conversation at one point in high school where people were just not even mentioning that
people hated these movies.
Yeah, and then they just flip and are like, "Oh, I've always loved this. I've always loved this film."
Yeah, but with Revenge of the Sith, it kind of it had that kind of boost, but also like it kind of blended itself into meme culture, and it's everyone's kind of like. It's kind of had this like larger than life kind of glow up, because people like now see it as like this unsung masterpiece that apparently is a masterpiece, which is interesting. And I think it definitely gives they're breathing new life into the movie.
They are. In my original train of thought, before TJ explained sort of the timeline of the love for the films and the opinions and feelings towards the prequels, my original train of thought was that I always really loved the
prequels.
Well,
or Revenge of the Sith, at least.
Revenge of the Sith, at least.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're a kid, you like all of them. And then as you grow older, you kind of see their flaws. And even as I grew older, I consistently believed that I thought Revenge of the Sith was a good Star Wars movie, and I really enjoyed it. It's incredibly dark, which is part of the reason why I think it's so good.
Yeah, that's the reason why people like it so much.
And that seems to be a common theme with movies. When they're dark, they usually get a better reception. Rogue One is an example where literally I don't know if I should I
spoil it.
Yeah, I won't spoil it. Probably in case someone hasn't seen it. That's a good save there. I probably shouldn't have done that. Anyway, said what I was about to say, but yeah, and man, it's been a hot minute. What am I trying to say here? Yeah, that just how much I loved that last piece of all the choreography for the choreography. Wow, that was big brain here for that fight.
Yes,
it was really cool, and if they are able to do that
again,
that would be remarkable.
Yeah, like you said, I've always been one for the prequels. I've always enjoyed them. As a kid, I mean, I grew up on like the Phantom Menace and stuff, and then even now I watch Attack of the Clones and I'm like, I still kind of love this.
There are still some great moments in it.
Yeah. As a movie, oh god, it's kind of a mess, but
it is.
As a viewing experience, I think part of me has nostalgia for it, and I think it's just a fun movie.
I'm gonna sound like a Star Wars homer when I say this, but I truly love all of the Star Wars movies.
Yeah, same.
Now, are there not so great Star Wars movies? Yes.
Yeah.
Specifically The Rise of Skywalker and The Clone Wars. But I still love all of them.
Yeah, same. I think as much as I give shit for Rise of Skywalker, if I sit down and watch it, I will enjoy it. It's mostly just kind of the afterthought kind of thing. But when I'm in that moment, you know damn well I'm gonna love it. Mm-hmm. That's with any Star Wars movie, or show or anything like that. Even if it's the dumbest thing ever, even if it's the Star Wars Holiday Special, yes. I will find joy in it. Yeah, it's Star Wars, and I love Star Wars.
Yeah, it's the same thing for me with Bond movies.
Yeah,
there are.
I have that too.
There are good Bond movies. There are bad Bond movies.
Oh, yeah,
there are Bond movies that are hella campy. There are Bond movies that are extremely serious.
Yeah.
The
difference between Timothy Dalton and oh god, I can't think of his name. Roger Moore.
You're good.
Yeah, that's the second time I've done that recently.
Yeah,
it's like I just can't remember Roger Moore's name.
That happens to all of us. I don't know. I've had that happen before for sure. But no, yeah, definitely. I love that because it gives diversity to the films. If you want to throw on one where there's some meme moments, Revenge of the Sith or something like that.
Yeah,
View to a Kill. Prequel, yeah. If you want some meme moments, go to View to a Kill. Other Bond films of that nature.
Get something darker, more Empire. Revenge of the Sith still. Mm-hmm. And then you got with Bond, it's like Casino Royale or License to Kill or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think, and I truly believe that it is actually important that we have that
diversity.
That diversity because, again, as you mentioned, you can choose what film you want in that same universe depending on your vibe.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to watch a Bond movie, you have one for practically every feel. If you want to watch a Star Wars one, you practically have one for every feel.
No, we have something better. Ninjas.
Oh my god.
That's a movie we'll hopefully be talking about very soon with our good friend Parker.
Yes. Oh, that movie.
You only live twice.
Yeah. Oh, that's a masterpiece.
It's a masterpiece. Yes.
Oh my god.
It is. Anyway, back to Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Oh yeah.
I want to talk about my guys. my main guys. That. Talked about Sung, but we'll talk about Kumal. His role was very much what I expected out of him as an actor. It is literally what he has played he has played in many characters, including his latest one with Eternals.
Yeah.
And he played it well because that's what he knows how to play.
Yeah, that's what he does.
That's what he does. And it was pretty cool seeing him in Star Wars universe. He's really growing more and more.
Yeah, I was gonna say compared to like 2017 or something, where he was like some scrawny nerd on Silicon Valley. He's really come into his own
and making X-Files podcasts.
Yeah,
episodes,
and now he shows up in Marvel and Star Wars within 7 months.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
8 months.
It is crazy. I'm glad he's getting the recognition he honestly deserves because he deserves everything that's coming at him. What?
I forgot to tell you. Can you believe it's been 6 months since we saw Spider-Man?
Wow.
I was thinking about that during work today. It's been almost half a year since we've seen that movie.
It literally feels like yesterday.
I know. I was standing there during work and I was like, oh my God, it's been a while.
That's absurd.
Yeah, because I thought about that with Eternals. And
right.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he does deserve everything that's coming towards him because
yes, he does. He's a great, but he's awesome.
He is. He is Kamal. Great. Has some great humor, and
he's a funny guy.
He's a funny guy. I haven't seen Silicon Valley.
He's a funny man.
Yes, I haven't seen Silicon Valley. I've seen him in Stuber. I remember we watched that one. That was there was some great moments in that film.
Oh, that movie's unsung masterpiece.
I love the fight with him and Batista in the sporting goods store.
That scene is so funny.
It is so funny.
Who did we watch that with?
John.
Okay, that's what I thought.
I'll be honest, it was a very weird double feature because we watched Treasure of Sierra Madre and then Stuber. Two completely different films.
Yeah.
But hey, it worked and we enjoyed both of them.
Yes, we did.
Also, shout out, great uncle. He's in Treasure of Sierra Madre.
He is.
What a king. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm excited. I was glad to see him make an appearance in the Kenobi show and do a nice job as well with his role in the film. Yeah, definitely. That's my little rant there on my
your 2 cents
on my two homies that I repeatedly talk about on the podcast. Maybe a little bit too much, but hey, whatever.
It's all good.
All good. Any other thoughts on the Kenobi show, TJ? Spoiler free, obviously.
I'm interested to see where it goes.
Same here.
So somehow we're halfway. We'll get to that other half.
Mm-hmm. And we'll probably have a recap episode. Maybe we'll replace it with one of our movie of the weeks.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, we can bring someone else, maybe Emerson. Yeah, because he's probably keeping up.
Yeah, I know. Either he was starting it or he rewatched a scene with his brother. But it looked like he was watching parts of it when I walked into his house.
Okay, very cool. Very cool. There are two other things I want to get to before we close things up, but definitely this one we're talking about right now, which is I just have to have a Stranger Things PSA here. TJ had his PSA here with, what was your PSA? Oh, George Lucas.
Mr. Lucas.
My PSA is on Stranger Things.
Stranger Things.
Yes, and as TJ can add to this PSA if he'd like.
I love Stranger Things.
But originally going into the season, and it had been 2 years since
2019, July of 2019.
Yeah, it's been basically 2 years since season 3 came out, and therefore it'd been a while since I really thought about the show. And I was kind of like, okay, I do remember that I enjoyed it quite a bit, but it wasn't necessarily my favorite thing. At least that's what I originally thought.
And then going back to it,
and then I watched season 4, episode 1, and then all the memories flooded back to me about how I literally binged it all.
In like a weekend?
In a weekend. Yeah. TJ and Emerson showed me the first episode, and I was like, what is this greatness? And I somehow magically rushed through all 3 seasons in basically a weekend.
Yeah.
And I realized, holy crap, I love this show.
Oh, it's amazing.
It is incredible. It's not too often where you have a show that is very much ingrained in pop culture, yet has so many nerdy touches to it from movies that...
Yeah, nerdy nostalgia.
Yeah.
to it. Yeah.
Nerdy nostalgia that with movies that kids who watch the show have no idea what they are.
Oh yeah. I mean, I made a joke about dial-up computers to my sister after she watched like something in the latest season. She's like, "What the hell are you talking about?" And I was like, yeah, computers were connected to phone lines. You didn't pick up on that? And she's like, "No, I always thought they were like wireless." And I was like,
Yeah.
"Nah, sister.
Yeah.
They're phones."
And I'm not saying, and I don't think either of us are saying that as a bad thing. Obviously,
no.
it is a disconnect from.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, it's its own time.
It is.
People now don't think about double VHSs and Betamaxes and dial computers and stuff like that. It's all digital in iPhones.
Yeah, it is. And I think one and talking about all the nerdy touches and everything, I was thinking about for this is a smaller example, but why do I like the score so much? I was trying to match it. I was trying to figure out why is this score familiar? Why do I like it so much? Favorite horror director, John Carpenter. Literally all the music in Stranger Things, the score is inspired by his synthesizer type of score, which he actually did a lot of his own work on, his own pieces of music in his films. But just all the touches like that in Alien and Aliens, couple of my other favorite horror movies. There's references of those films in season 2 and other things of that nature. But again, just the way they're able to incorporate all that into a present day show is as good as it is, at least right now, it's remarkable.
Yeah. The ability of to build a nostalgia for a decade that most people think they know, but they honestly don't know as much as they think about. It's really cool to see to like in reference like all the little things. Like I remember them making a joke in season 3 about like old Coke versus new Coke. I'm like, kids won't get that. I somehow do because my parents make jokes about that occasionally. And I'm like, hey, that's actually, I get this. But like, no kid in their right mind would actually know half the things they're sometimes saying. But to think it's so big. Like, I was talking to my friend Ashlyn, and she loves the show. Both her and her sister. And I was talking about like how there's like references to things. And she's like, I don't even know half the things you're talking about. Like, I think I was talking about Alien. And because I think in season 3 they recreate a shot from Alien 3.
Which one? Do you know? Mm-hmm. Which one is it?
It's the beginning of, I want to say, it's one of the middle episodes. So they're in the hospital, and the big goo monster first shows itself.
Okay.
And it gets right up to oh god, what's her name? Mike's sister. I can't remember.
Is her name Natalie?
No. I can't remember. It gets like right up to her face, like the shot in Alien 3.
Oh, interesting.
And I was like, "Hey, it's Alien 3." And she was like, "What are you talking about?" And I was like, "What?" But did it just die?
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Hold on.
I'll just kind of continue.
Yes.
But I think it's so cool to have like the ability to reference all these things and be nostalgic for a different decade, but also kind of introduce and make people now interested in things of the 80s that they have no clue about. Like I said, dial-up phones and Betamaxes and stuff like that. And like plus the show itself is, absolutely phenomenal. So it's hard not to love it already. Like I said, like John said, the score is absolutely fantastic, and the way they're able to transition from story to story, especially in this latest season, is crazy phenomenal. And just like the jokes and the stories and the acting is like all top notch.
Yeah, it truly is. And if it wasn't for my current top 3 all-time favorite television shows, which is, for those that care, because obviously everyone cares, number 1, Magnum P.I., old one, 2, The X-Files, 3, Twin Peaks. If it wasn't for those 3 shows, it would be in my top 3 without a doubt. I love it that much.
Oh, it's a great show. It's definitely up there for me, too.
It is. Agreed. And it's just, yeah, the totality of it all, the craftsmanship that goes into it, the love of film that the Duffer Brothers have, obviously is evident with all the stuff they reference.
Yeah.
In their show. It's
so good.
We were talking about this the other day. At least for me, I would say out of all the Netflix shows I've watched, it's by far the best one. By far.
Yeah, I think it's... Ooh, I think... Oh, yeah.
I mean, they obviously have a lot of shows that I haven't got to as well.
Yeah, I think for me, it's probably definitely up there, too. I think the only one that really rivals it, and it's only because of, like, writing, is something like BoJack Horseman.
Yeah, and you talked about Ozark, too. Ozark is definitely in the top tier.
Yeah. I also one of my personal favorites is Castlevania, which it's not as, I think, overall as good, but I think personally it's held in a very high regard for me, especially because of stuff like season 2 for that show, which is absolutely phenomenal. I think the ending of season 2 is some of my favorite television ever. But Stranger Things, it's always been a universal constant for me, because it's like. I started that show, I want to say a few months after it first came out. And then every time a new season comes out, I drop everything and I watch it and I'm like, this is it. And then I'm like, a few months later, I kind of remember it and I'm like, damn, this show's good. And I kind of forget about it again. Like, I always mean to watch it again, but I never do. But it's just like, it's just like this soul. It's one of those things I have like a big love for when I watch it. And then, like, I forget how much I love it, and then it comes back, and I'm just like, "Oh my god, this is it. This is why I love just like films and like stuff like that. It's just because stuff like this."
Exactly. My sister the other day asked, because she obviously knew what Stranger Things was. She hasn't seen many episodes, but she knew what it was, and she was just curious, like, is it more than just a popular show?
Yes.
And
yes, the short answer is yes.
The short answer is yes. Again, it is rare when you have a film that film nerds can love,
and also
and people like your friend Ashlyn and other people that aren't nearly as much into film can like.
My whole family adores Stranger Things. We are, as a family, we are huge Stranger Things fans. I feel like that's also kind of the same thing with like Mandalorian. Mandalorian is another show of that caliber that we kind of talked about earlier. Where it's like, in theory, it should just be like a Star Wars show that just Star Wars nerds love. And yes, it is appealing to other people. But no, everyone loves The Mandalorian. That show is undoubted. When The Mandalorian comes out, it's like Stranger Things. Everyone drops everything and they watch it immediately. Part of it is probably because of Little Grogu.
Oh, I would say a big part of it is.
I think that was a big turn on for the show, but I think everyone still loves it just as much. It's so good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is a wonderful time to be alive because watching stuff because of those 2 shows, and I'm excited to see where they go. I'm currently on episode 3. TJ, you're all caught up.
I just finished, and I'm waiting for the last 2 to come out for Stranger Things, which are going to be very long.
It's also one of those shows where it feels like a special occasion. It feels like you're in a special moment. Whereas other Marvel shows, it's just, okay, it's a Marvel show. But when you're watching a Stranger Things episode, it is a momentous occasion.
Yeah, it's an occasion. I throw my phone to the other side of the room, and I'm pretty invested. I'm just like, nothing can stop me right now. I'm like, I am so dialed in and just like everything. I'm like, I am so much more dialed in than I am with a lot of other shows.
Also, shout out. I just want to shout out when we're talking about it. All the actors.
Yes.
The casting, I don't know what the casting directors were on, but they managed to assemble a
hella good cast.
Yes. There is no weak point.
No.
Oftentimes when you have an ensemble that is this big,
there's like one weak link. No, everyone is amazing.
Non-existent. Also, I don't know if you noticed, CJ, but I'm looking at the non-existent camera.
Yes, I've noticed that. I keep seeing you do that, and I'm like, what are you doing?
So I didn't mention this yet, but our camera,
it's dead.
It's dead. And
Shotty's dead.
And so I'm still looking at an empty tripod, and TJ is noticing. So anyway, that is a thing.
Yeah.
But back to the cast. Yes. It is spot on. They're all spot on. Great choices. All the additions have never missed as well.
Yes. Like, dude, I mean, one of my favorite characters is an add-on from the last season.
Is it the... Go ahead.
Yeah, it's Robin, my Hawks character. She is so funny, and I think she fits the vibe of, like, not just the season, but, like, the show. And I'm like, how did you do this so well? It's just, like... And the Max with season 2 when she comes in, and all the other little side characters.
Who's her brother? Billy?
Billy.
He, unironically, he is a top 3 character for me, Stranger Things.
He's so good. I liked Billy when he was on. He was awesome.
He did that actor, Dacre, is that how you say his name?
Something like that, yeah.
Montgomery or
something like that.
Great acting job in season 3.
Oh yeah, he sells it. He's I'm definitely interested to see like where he goes because, like I said, he was a great addition to the show already. And like I'm definitely interested to see what he does after because I knew he was in the Power Rangers movie, but that doesn't count.
Yeah, I remember that. I had that random thought today where I was like, oh right, I forgot he was in that Power Rangers movie.
Yeah, I can't remember who else is in that movie, but I think Elizabeth Banks is in the movie.
Okay,
it's not good. But yeah, he's a great addition. The one guy from Fleabag, he's a good comedy backbone, especially one paired with Winona Ryder, which he is like 99% of the time he's on screen.
Also, I think my favorite character is who's Will's brother? What's his name?
Jonathan?
Yeah, I think he's my favorite character, honestly.
I like Jonathan. Mine's still Steve.
Steve
has been my favorite since season 2, and he's stayed strong.
I won't say anything, obviously, so we can avoid spoilers. But the scene where I'll just say it because it's not a spoiler. But Jonathan's made a new friend in California, and they're hitting golf balls into just trashed vehicles, and it is also this new addition. We're talking about new additions.
Yeah,
this guy
Argyle. So funny.
Incredibly funny.
He's the perfect stoner.
He is a perfect stoner. Their relationship is great, and just their dynamic is hilarious.
So funny.
Anyway, oh my gosh, some great funny moments.
Oh yeah, for me, my favorites are Steve, Dustin, and Robin.
Say for me, it's Jonathan, who I'm terrible with names. Finn Wolfhard's character. Mike, and I would say Billy.
If you had to do like a more main cast,
main.
Yeah,
main cast.
But that is a good pick for like overall show pick.
So I would say it's David Harbour.
Oh yeah, Hopper. Mm-hmm. Hopper's great.
Hopper, yeah, right.
Dude, Hopper has some great acting in this new season.
Okay.
Dude, there's some like. He gives a monologue in one of the episodes, and god damn, is it amazing!
Didn't he get super thin for?
He's a lot thinner, yeah.
Because he's obviously he's trying to represent the fact that he wasn't, and this isn't a spoiler because it's in the trailer, but he's in a prison thing.
Yeah. Like compared to like what he's at in like season 3, and more like Black Widow, he's a lot slimmer.
That's what I thought.
He pulls off the look really well. Yeah, I mean, he has some great stuff in this season. Mm-hmm. At first, his arc wasn't my favorite, but once at the end, god damn, is it amazing?
Okay,
Shit goes down.
I'm very excited.
I was just like, it was one of those moments where I was like holding my breath, and I was like, oh my god, oh no,
oh dude, I can't wait. I really can't wait.
This season so far is absolutely fantastic.
And the last thing I'll add too about the momentous occasion vibe that it has is it makes it feel like I'm sitting down on a Friday night and watching a sort of weekly television show that's coming out like it did in the 80s.
Yeah.
And things of that nature. I also appreciate that. The times of yore.
The times of yore.
Yes. Yes, the times of yore.
Oh, the times of yore.
That deserves a...
Do it, Anakin. Fly inverted. That's what I thought you played, but I was just like,
right.
Okay. I took off my headphones because they bug my ears.
Yeah, I know. They're not the greatest headphones, but hey, you gotta do what you gotta do.
But yeah, dude, I love Stranger Things.
Final note, so we can close things off here. Yeah, Stranger Things is fantastic. And my one gripe is that there is no Morbius reference in season 4.
They're not Morbin.
There's no Morbin time going on, and I'm quite frankly disappointed in that.
Oh my god. The amount of Morbin memes I've seen in like the last 2 or 3 days is insanity. What is happening?
It's greatness is what's happening, DJ.
That is true.
It's great.
How could we forget that Jared Leto was Morbin too hard?
It's Morbin too hard. All I'm saying, and this is my final note before we close things off.
Do it, Jared. Morb.
Is we need Morbius to go up for Best Picture.
I love this idea. Give it every Oscar.
That's all I'm asking.
Best Supporting Actor, Matt Smith. Best Actor, Jared.
I love that there was a clip I was watching of the Matt Smith dance scene.
Oh my god. I see that every day and I'm just like, oh my god.
It never fails to make me laugh.
It's so funny.
It's so funny.
Every time I see it, I watch 20 seconds of it and I'm just like, thank God. This is the greatest thing I needed. And in the post, the guy, and in the caption it said something along the lines of, is this the greatest comic book moment of all time? Yes. Obviously. Is that even a question, bro? I do love that. I sent John a post about this earlier, that the audience score for Morbius is higher than Captain Marvel by a solid 30%. Even though Morbius has a god-awful rating. Captain Marvel weirdly has a really good one. It's an 85 or something. I know. Despite the fact that Brie Larson's as stiff as a 2x4. She is the definition of a 2x4 in that movie. We should have a 2x4 club on the pod where we just get a collection of actors' performances that are just 2x4s. Because we have 2 right now. Yes, we have Speed 2 Man. Speed 2 Man, yes. It sounds like I'm trying to say Speedo Man. Speedo Man. Yeah, and Brie Larson. Are you down? I get the 2x4 club. Okay, it's official. That's what we're gonna end the podcast with. We've created the 2x4 club and the wonderful. I have to do it one more time. Oh yeah, do it, Anakin. Fly inverted. Do it, Jared. Morb. for the alter ego TJ over there. Oh yeah, and me, John Phillips. We'll catch you on the next episode of. And again, I'm pointing. Yeah, I was going to say, why are you pointing at the non-existent camera? I'm pointing to a camera that is non-existent. We'll catch you on the next episode of the Manic Movie Misfits podcast. Peace. See ya.